What do you find more interesting? This excellent voice, or perhaps this picturesque landscape? Don't worry, this is not an advertisement. Or maybe you enjoy the city skylines. But what you'll definitely enjoy is our podcast, The Dinner Convo, hosted by a group of friends like these people, except we hate each other, and amazing guests. So sit back and relax. You're in for the ride of a lifetime. And after watching the podcast, you'll be happy as this gentleman became. So without any further ado, welcome to the Dinner Convo. Just goddamn subscribe already.
Hey you! Look over here! Are you having a bad day? Yes? Yeah, very good. Are your parents constantly pressuring you to become a doctor and engineer at the same time? Are you tired of studies and want to do something good with your life? Including the studies that you had in this? Well, I have none of the solutions to your problems, but what I do have is one of the most interesting podcasts in the world. Please welcome everyone. Welcome to the. I even forgot what episode this is because this is such an exciting moment for us. We have someone really special, someone really close to our heart. And we'll get to it in a little bit. So welcome to the Dinner Convo. I hope you guys are doing excellent, doing whatever you are, whatever you're doing good things for the people, doing things for yourself. And one thing though, we want to make sure this is the thing in every episode. If you're watching this podcast alone, please don't do it. Get people together. All of this is not the right thing to say to ours. But you could get your family together, because you can sit with your parents and have a laugh at us doing a podcast with zero, which is not funny at all, where we're trying very hard to be funny. We're boring, and at the same time we have crappy equipment. That's anything works. So yeah, get together with your family and enjoy the podcast. So before we progress, Fardin is once again going to do the boring job of telling you guys to subscribe. Do it, man.
Let's end it in like that. Guys, subscribe, like, comment, and give us some love and support. We need it. Come on. This is one of the best podcasts you will ever see. I'm not exaggerating.
Oh, okay.
You have to
watch
watch it.
All right. That's an arrogant remark, but we'll take it. But the thing is, people are probably thinking I'm a very sadistic person because every episode I don't do any of that and I do the boring part. Give the boring parts to Adil and Fardin. And if you've been wondering where Adil and Shan are, both of them have taken a short break. They're very studious people. Fardin and I don't study much, so we haven't taken a long break. So yeah. So without any further ado, let's just get into it. So today's guest. If you guys are OG Dinner Convo subscribers or fans, you might have remembered a very awesome guest that we had on the 5th episode of the Dinner Convo. It was with Jamie Rossler, who was one half of the Zac and Jay Show. And at that episode, I did ask Jamie whether he could bring Zac as well because, we wanted them to be together. They're a duo, right? But unfortunately, Zac was holidays during then. And we had Jamie, and you definitely know Jamie, who was one of the best guests to have ever. If there was a Hall of Fame, Jamie would be up there for sure. And we couldn't help but bring the other half of this fantastic channel. So joining us all the way from UK, one of the most intelligent, one of the most influential, one of the most creative YouTubers you'll see, and unfortunately one of the most underrated. Come on, these guys have like 700K. They deserve 70 million or stuff like that because they are so good. They have such creative ideas that take such great risks in order to give us, the subscribers, great content. So without any further ado, joining us all the way from UK, it's one of the Zac and Jay Show, Zac Alsop. Zac, can we have you, man?
Yay!
Oh, man,
what an introduction! Thank you so much.
He's finally here.
I'm blushing.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that was
Yeah.
incredible.
Exactly.
I'm here to knock Jamie off the top spot of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a battle.
It's about time. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Thank you for in all seriousness, Zac. Thank you for dedicating some time to join us in this short podcast. But we're very small people, and the fact that you guys are paying attention, dedicating your useful time to these small initiatives, it just means a lot. We're extremely thankful for you. God bless you all, and yeah, without any further ado, speaking of which, today I was, at around 10 a.m. in the morning, I was going through Zac and Jay video, not for research purpose, just like that. I watch Zac and Jay now and then. I don't want to come across a guy who just watches YouTubers for research purpose in the podcast. I don't do that. I watch you guys genuinely. So I was watching Zac and Jay videos, and there was this. I see that most of your videos have this, trend of sneaking into places, and trust me, they're one of the best. They're risky, and you guys are taking you might end up in jail or stuff like that, but you guys take the risk. You guys do some crazy stuff there. So
Gotta do
what
it
inspired?
for the
Yeah.
for the sweet clout. You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
What inspired you to do all these, sneak-ins and stuff?
Before I go into that, I will just say, you said thank you for giving kind of me giving you your time. No worries on that. Absolutely no worries. Like, I'm sorry that I was 10 minutes late.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, your guys,
Absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine.
But
Exactly.
your guys' approach is it encapsulates everything that Jay and I try and get across. That like we are living in a time where like we're connected in more ways than we've ever been, and like just the way you guys kind of reach out, and you've been getting these great guests on your podcast. Where you say you've got no good equipment, and you're out across the other side of the world from us. Like see what happens when you just like take a go and kind of take a shot and stuff. So yeah, first of all, I'm here because I love what you guys are about. So no worries on that whatsoever.
Why
This is
wait,
going to be
right?
fun.
Why wait?
Why
Exactly,
wait?
my
Yeah,
friend.
exactly.
And so on the sneaking in stuff, where does it all begin? It was me and Jay were kind of like at university together, and we realized very quickly that going into like the final year as like students, where you've got all this kind of freedom over your time, you've like got your first taste of being away from home and your parents, and like you've got no money, but like the money that you do have, you're kind of just like using it to the most you possibly can. And I kind of personally realized that like we were coming to the end of like the kind of school experience. We've been in education our whole lives, and I just wanted to like have the best summer ever, basically. And it was a weird kind of like mix, because I'd set up a business, and then the co-founder had stole half the money, so I was kind of packed in that business and was in a bit of a weird place. Jamie was also like, I guess, in that same headspace, but he was still running his business. And him and our friend George just started kind of they snuck into like a few gigs, and Jamie was in Manchester watching a rapper called Skepta, and he basically picked up a bin bag and walked backstage. Like picked up a bin and walked backstage, and was basically backstage with this like one of our favorite rappers. And he went to get kicked out, and then he told them the story, and they loved it so much that they let him back in. So that was kind of like the first little glimpse at like what could happen. And then literally a few weeks later, it was the first summer like festival in our city. So we were kind of like, right, it's game on now. We didn't have any money, so we were kind of like wanting to save money, and if we get into the places for free and also like meet our favorite musicians and artists, that was when it was like we were just kind of experimenting and seeing what was possible. So yeah, that festival happened, and we spent all day backstage. We had met all our favorite rappers. We invited Stormzy, who's one of the biggest out of the UK, back to our house party. Like, just all this ridiculous stuff that we just never thought would be possible. And we just kept pushing it. And yeah, that basically, once that happened and we had the best time ever, we were like, right, we're gonna see what else we can do with this. And that kind of escalated to this all online craziness that you see on our channel now. But yeah, that was kind of how it all began, really. Like we both came together, and then we're just wanting to have as much fun as possible during the summer. So
Fantastic. That's
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So Zach, when did you first meet Jamie, and how did you guys interact?
good question. My first memory of Jamie was we did this like open day at school at university, where it was like a test of like whether you'd like the course or not. And I'd applied for 4 different courses in 4 different universities. I didn't know what I wanted to do, basically. I hadn't gone to any of the open days before, and I went to this one because it was in Bristol and it was close to home, so it wasn't too hard. And I basically just like really enjoyed it. But I didn't speak to Jamie. I just remember him like we had to do like a video call to these guys in Finland, and no one wanted to be the one to speak, and he was just the guy that was like, yeah, I'll do it, and was just acting like an idiot in front of everyone. So I remember like that was my first impression of him. And then in university, we just kind of like we were put in the same team, and like our university course was quite intense, so we spent pretty much all day with each other for like 3 years basically. So well, not 3 years, he did actually move to London, but that was kind of like the start of it. We were put in the same team, and then yeah, just had to spend a lot of time with each other, and figured out we got on from that. How about you guys?
Yeah.
How have you guys like
Oh,
met and come
we are
together to make
schoolmates.
this?
Yeah, we're schoolmates. We've
in the
been
same school.
studying in the same school. I mean, like I studied in the school that we're in right now, since like kindergarten, and and then Fardin came along in grade 4. Yeah, and the other two hosts, I've met them way before. So Fardin is like he came a little late
Right.
at our school, but back then, yeah, that's when we
Cool.
became
Yeah.
mates. We used to go to the same tuition. That's how we became mates.
Right, yeah.
Great friends.
That's how we, yeah. And then one day, we were very normal people. We were doing nothing during quarantine, and then I was like, okay, let's start a. This wasn't actually supposed to be a podcast. It was supposed to be a one-off thing, where we tried to do what you did with the Judy Dench thing.
Yeah.
That's what we were supposed to do.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. That's what we were
Oh,
supposed to do.
really?
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
supposed to
exactly.
be a large group of people, like anybody we can find, but unfortunately, no one believed us, and they were like, sorry, they're like, sorry, mate, it sounds interesting, but unfortunately, we can't use your time. Understandable, and we had nothing backing us back then, because now we have a YouTube channel, and then we have a Facebook and an Instagram page, so we can show people that yes, we are genuine. We had nothing backing us. Yeah, so it was like, and after we got like the first episode, we had like the host. I don't know what I'm saying. Host. One of the best food bloggers in the world, Mark Lees. We got him, and that's when we were like, okay. We were trashing the first episode. I was just smiling, laughing too much. Fardin and the two other hosts were quite quiet because we did not know what to say. We were like, what if it gets awkward?
Yeah.
Everybody's silent. What would we do then?
It's like we were super nervous.
I love that though, because you're like literally learning by doing, and that was kind of like that. Going back to our kind of university course, it was that we literally had no lectures, no exams, no one telling us what to do. Like we had to go out and make the mistakes and then learn from them. So that's what I love though. It's fucking endearing to like have someone like reach out to you and kind of it's going like it's a shit show, but that's funny, man. That's so good to look back at, especially now and like when you're improving and getting better at hosting. Like that stuff would be hilarious to look back on. So, like we look back on our old videos and think that was so trash, that was shit. So yeah, it's good. It shows progression.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you.
And then at that point in time, we were like, let's just make it a regular thing. And to be honest, we're A-level students now, and so A-levels are pretty hard, as you know. You obviously gave the A-levels, and so we need something to take our heads off studies for a while. So all we do now is we study, we pray, and we do this. That's all we do right now.
Oh, amazing! Love that.
That's basically what we do.
Everyone needs a side hustle.
Exactly.
That's
never
fun.
know what you never know what we can make of this. We can probably become. And we've also been thinking of this. And like one day we'll raise enough money to go to London and make a video with Zac and Jay. Trust me, that's what we do.
Yes,
exactly.
Then
we'll sneak around places.
I like the sound of that. There won't be much sneaking going on at the moment because of COVID, but I do like the sound of that, boys. If you can raise enough funds, rally them together, and you fly to London, guarantee me and Jay will make ourselves available. How's that?
All right. Yes,
right.
We are looking forward to it. Yeah, and speaking of which, we're going to this segment in our show. This segment, I don't know if you know this, but it started in the 4th episode. Like we've been doing it for quite a while now. We did not have a name for it, so we asked Jamie to give it a name, right? So Jamie was like, okay. So after he finished the round, he gave it a name, and there's a reason why I say Zac and Jay are like a very important component to our show, because they're literally part of every show because your slogan, "Why Wait," is actually the name of the segment. So
Why
the
Wait,
segment is
exactly.
called "Why Wait" segment. So it's
Why Wait.
dedicated to you guys. So it's dedicated to you guys. Definitely,
Love
you guys. Yeah. So we'll be asking you a series of rapid fire questions. If you can get the most, and as you can get one question equals 1 point. We suggest you answer the questions in 1 or 2 words because a lot of times we've seen guests literally explain the whole answer, then they end up getting like a really
Okay.
that's the problem.
What?
Yeah.
I've got an important question. What is the high
Yeah.
score on this section?
Yeah, I'm getting to that. Yeah, we've
Okay.
had
Okay.
fun fact. We've had the high score was 17 till now. It was done by 2 people. One was Brez, who was the first ever guest to participate in this particular segment, and then there's this YouTuber from New York called Brett Conti. He was there as well.
And also Perry Groom.
Perry Groom, yeah, he was his roommate. He also got 17, and the next 2 scores are like 16 and 15. But
15.
luckily, this is the first time we had shot an episode this morning, like around 12 hours ago, 12 or 13 hours ago, and the guest who came in actually scored 18. So now the highest score is 18. So if you get like 16, so you get like 16, you'll make it into the top 3.
Okay.
All right.
And
I'm ready.
Jamie got 11.
That was rubbish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see what
Looks like Zac is ready.
I'm ready.
We'll
Okay.
legit record this particular part and send it to Zac if you get a better score than Zac. All right.
Yeah.
And a disclaimer: I'm still a noob at this, so I'll probably mess up. And hopefully you consider my inefficiencies. Okay. Zac, are you ready, Mike?
Ready.
Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. What's your full name?
Zac Daniel Alsop.
Where were you born?
Poulton in Somerset.
Do you like the place where you were born?
Yes and no.
When did you move out of your birthplace?
2014.
What's your favorite city?
London.
What's your favorite food?
Pasta.
Who's your favorite YouTuber?
David Dope. Nico Milana.
New York or LA?
LA.
What's one thing about London that you hate?
My bike got stolen.
Spend the night in the tubes or spend the night spend the night in the tubes or spend the night in the most expensive hotel in the world?
Most expensive hotel in the world.
Have you ever visited Asia?
Yes, Bali.
Do you want to come to Bangladesh at some point in time?
Absolutely, yes.
If you weren't a YouTuber, what else would you have been?
Freelance videographer, director, movie maker.
If you didn't meet Jamie, where would you be now?
Still a YouTuber.
What's your favorite? Do you play video games? Do you play video games?
Not anymore.
All right, that was the end of it. How many questions did Zac get?
Zac got 15.
Oh,
Yeah!
you beat Jamie. Congrats, man. You beat Jamie.
You do not know how much this means.
And
That's
I believe
great,
you scored.
that's great.
You're 4th in our leaderboard now. That's a lot. That's great. That's fantastic. 15 is a great score, Zac. We really appreciate it. And as you said, it's a respectable score.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Really
thought I'd bring Jamie along just so he could witness me beating his score, and he doesn't look too happy about it, does he?
quite
He's
annoying,
very
man.
upset.
I believe he'll ask
He's just
for
enjoying the podcast.
Yeah, he was enjoying the podcast until Zac defeated him. And that's
Yeah,
why
I know. Do you know what?
That's
That was a lot of fun.
that's his reaction right there.
Yeah. When he finds out, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Quick thinking. It felt like a game show. It's not often you get tested like that. Normally podcasts are long-winded, endless questions and answers. But that was a nice little section, boys. Well done.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. We appreciate that you like it. Speaking of which, since we all love you, since we love your content, and one thing I watched the video, like the one, like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the premiere that you wanted to crash, and
Yeah.
I specifically wanted to know about one thing. When Leo legit gave you like the best, one of the best rejections in the history of mankind. How did you feel? How did Jamie and you both feel?
I felt so relieved that I wasn't getting like literally speared through a window by one of his private security guards. Like, there was part of me that thought they got to carry guns or some sort of weapons when you're protecting a man like Leo. But yeah, I was so glad nothing bad happened, because we kind of went out of that, got rejected. I was almost relieved, but then straight away people started asking us questions, and then was like, security. And then at that point it was because I had a clipboard and Jamie had a bear mask, so he didn't look like he was meant to be there. I got away with it. So I was basically said, "Oh, I'm doing the social media for the cinema," and just literally said anything to keep him away. And they were like, "Oh, okay." And then he's like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know about him. But I can't justify the kid in the backpack with the bear mask on. That's too much." But yeah, it was just relief that I wasn't like on the floor with the world's press taking photos of me as a weirdo.
I mean, you would have made it too.
That was great.
You would have been probably would have been one of the best memes of that year. But it's fine. You guys did your best. We appreciate the effort. Really,
I know.
Thank
There's
you.
been so many times like that where like we've been on the cusp of just greatness, and it is annoying. It is annoying. Like we was in one of Drake's parties. Snuck into one of Drake's parties for my old channel, and we were this like literally 10 seconds away from seeing Drake and getting him on the video. But the two security teams started fighting each other, so he got evacuated. Literally, so he got taken away from us. But there's so many things like that. Cara Delevingne was another one at Fashion Week. I could have got an interview with her, but I was too much of a pussy and I didn't ask her. There's been so many times like that, just that close away from greatness. So, yeah, I try and remind myself of that when we're going into these situations. And that was one of them, because every part of my body, every fabric of my existence and soul said, don't go up to Leo and ask him for a bear hug. That's a weird thing to do. I wouldn't do that to anyone. And but yeah, you have to do it sometimes.
Yeah, we really appreciate the effort.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't matter if you got close, got really close. I mean, like as you said,
We enjoyed watching it.
It was inches, like inches away. But we appreciate the effort. And that's what matters.
Yeah.
The effort.
It's all the fact.
Zach, you and Jamie did a video with Nico Milana. You guys were having dinner in a train with the passengers and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. What made you guys do this? Like, how did you guys do that?
To be honest, I think this is what I love about Nico, because he's not like worried about using someone's content and then making it better. Like, there was a guy in London who was doing that in the tube just for Instagram, just on an iPhone, and Nico literally just took it and elevated it times 100. And he basically just called us up super last minute and was like, "What are you boys doing? Have you got suits? I'm doing this video." And then we like a few days later we were at his, and next thing you know, we were running around with pizza on the tube. That was like one of those amazing experiences where, like, now in COVID times where you can't even be next to people, like that felt really cool, because the whole that train, the underground in London, no one speaks to each other normally, and it literally just brought the whole carriage together. And it was
Yeah. I mean, I love that video. It was great.
Me too, man.
Classic.
That was awesome.
Absolutely.
Love that idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we really appreciate two content creators, you and Nicola Milana, you guys getting together. Nicola Milana is actually on our list of getting guests. He's one of like Zac and Jay was on the list. Nicola Milana is on the list as well, so we're trying to get to him as well.
He's a little bit higher up, is he? He's a bit harder to reach.
No, I mean, we don't. I mean,
Yeah.
harder to reach, yeah. I mean, we don't rank anybody. we don't rank anybody based on that. We just like prepared a list
Yeah.
in no particular order. But some people are harder to get than like we could easily reach
Yeah,
you
yeah.
and Jamie, right? You and Jamie were like one
Yeah,
story
yeah.
away, and Nico's like
Yeah,
Exactly.
you need to get Nico on. He'll be great for this. Yeah, we'll keep on doing what you guys are doing. I'm sure it'll happen somehow, some way. The world works in mysterious ways, boys. You put out your wish, and it starts to manifest. I'm sure you know that better than anyone.
Yeah, true. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're trying our
In fact,
best.
I'd go as far to say that it will probably happen by the end of the year if you guys keep plugging away.
Hopefully,
You'll secure it.
let's see.
Thank you.
Let's see. Thank you for that, man. It means a lot. And yeah, speaking of which, like talk about the tube thing, which is awesome. You guys, what you're doing is, like you're setting a new benchmark for content creators out there. You guys are sneaking into places, and then we see a lot of other people sneaking into places. And then you guys, did a restaurant at Tube. Then some people decided to do a restaurant at their backyard. So you guys, love it or not, you guys like pioneers and setting like benchmarks of, and any other YouTuber I know doing this is Yes Theory and you guys, right? The people that are doing crazy content. So at any point in time, did you feel like, we might be running out of ideas? Or what do you feel like when you're trying to come up with a new idea? Like, what if next time I can't come up with a good idea?
Yeah. To be honest, we've never had that problem. We've got like a whole long list of ideas that just never goes down. It literally, like, we're always putting new ideas in. But the only annoying thing is some ideas are too big that we feel like we can't do them yet, or we'd have to take crazy amounts of time to then go and execute them. So it's not really a lack of ideas. It's more like just making sure the ones are fitting and kind of we can definitely do them. And because there's been a few ideas that just haven't worked and like we've had to bin them, and that's really annoying. But yeah, in terms of getting new ideas, like there's never a lack of inspiration. Like there's always stuff happening in the world. There's always like, it was a little bit harder through lockdown, but because all our content before was outside. But we kind of adapted and changed, and then we did like one of my favorite videos, which is the Judi Dench one. So and it started this podcast, which is amazing to hear. So so some of the best ideas come out of like weird scenarios like that, which makes you have to think in a different way, which is cool.
I mean, trust me, like, if there wasn't this, I mean, I'm not saying the pandemic is a good thing, it's definitely bad. But if there wasn't the pandemic, God knows, there wouldn't have been a podcast,
Yeah.
We're happy, not happy with the pandemic, of course. It's bad. But, we were happy.
Just make that completely clear. You're not saying coronavirus is good. No.
It's bad. It's bad.
We can all agree. It's definitely bad.
Yeah.
However, there are some good things to come out of it in a selfish way.
True.
Zac, you had your own YouTube channel as well, Zac Alsop. And then when did you decide, to do the Zac and Jay Show with Jamie?
Good question. It's funny that, isn't it? Like those problems on Zoom, like I've been having the whole time, because you're not like in person. You don't pick up on the social cues, so you all end up speaking over each other. That's one bad thing about coronavirus. It's made that happen. The Zac and Jay Show. I think like the Zac Alsop channel was meant to be the Zac and Jay Show in 2014. That's when it was set up, but it was originally called That Jib because we were jibbing into places. That was our name for sneaking in. But after the first video, Jamie didn't want to be a part of it anymore, so he carried on. He carried on with his business because that was when we snuck onto the Olympic bus, and then we just got like a load of press, and it was like good press, but for business, like a professional life, that's bad press. So he decided to go one way. I carried on with YouTube because that's what I wanted to do, and then I kind of did have a foot in the corporate world at that stage. Like I was running an advertising agency, but literally the office space that I was working out of was a co-working space, and that there was like an internal meeting about me doing the Olympic stunt and all that stuff. So like I got an email, or I seen an email that was to one of my like partners in the business, and it was like, we need to discuss the Olympic issue. And I was like, the Olympic issue has nothing to do with what's happening in these buildings and nothing to do with any of you. Like, and that was like, for me, a sign that I needed to leave like the corporate world. I was just like, I'm done with it. So it was shortly after that, like, yeah, I carried on that. And we were always talking. Like, Jamie was on the old channel a lot. Like, I was filming mostly festivals and just stuff where we were hanging around anyway. And he obviously became a character. People knew him in the videos. People were like recognizing him on the street and stuff from festivals we were at. And we kind of were like, yeah, always making videos, and we were always talking behind the scenes. But I think Jamie needed to be ready to like go all in on YouTube stuff. And obviously YouTube for me wasn't paying for ages, really, like for a good while. And then I started making money around, like, to be fair, I got my first brand new at 30,000 subscribers, but like consistently where I could like go all in on that, it was a little while. So I think Jamie had to be ready to walk away from his business, and also like that I wanted to feel like I could, you know, achieve that on my own merit and kind of get it to the point. I felt like I had something to prove. So while we were having those conversations, obviously Jamie like went through a stage where he was ready to lead the business, and I kind of like was not pressurizing him, but like talking about it quite a lot. And we had kind of like lots of opportunities coming up on YouTube, and like there was all this exciting stuff happening, and I was kind of bringing him into that and taking him to meetings and kind of almost sweetening him up to like pay off his business that he's been running for 5 years, and then step into like a world of basically fucking around filming videos with your mates, which doesn't sound as good, and your parents aren't going to understand, and like to anyone else that's going to be like a weird jump. But it was a risk that we were both kind of willing to do, and because yeah, just it's and like and the reason why we didn't rename my channel, like we talked about that a lot as well. We just wanted it to be like a new thing, and I didn't want to really like change my old channel. I quite like just having it there as like an insight into old videos, and if I want to throw up a video one day, I will. Like it's just kind of no pressure. So yeah, we just kind of started from scratch, and that was like a nice like ultimatum. We needed to make it work in by the time we ran out of money, basically. So that's how it began.
That's fantastic.
It was amazing to
man.
hear.
Yeah, and we're happy that you guys, you know, like a lot of people might think,
Yeah.
you know, that, you know, like you're supposed to do a business, you guys were doing good there, but you switched, but you guys took the risk. And look where you're at now. I love where you're at now. You have people appreciating your content from other parts of the world, like we're in Bangladesh.
Exactly. Yeah, this is so cool. They're like when we see like the country splits on our analytics, it's so cool. Like, and we see like Bangladesh and all these like crazy countries we've never been to before, and it's just so cool that like we're reaching that far with the videos, because I think like it still feels very like in our heads, and then we're putting it out there, and I feel like we've not done a great job, to be fair, this far with engaging with our community and kind of really like forming like a proper gang, really. Not a gang in a bad way, like a drug selling gang, but like a good gang of people that, you know, why waiters like across the world, and who are just doing their own thing like you guys. So yeah, it's very cool to see that we've reached you guys out there. What do you think, Jay?
He's still pissed after you defeated him. He's still pissed.
Yeah, he's being a bit quiet today, isn't he?
He's usually a little more energetic, I believe, you know, because we have a podcast. He has much energy. Okay, and one thing, yes. So we're nearing towards the end of the podcast. So one thing, you know, we want to talk about, you know, since the main intention behind this podcast was to motivate people. We want to talk about, you know, like you definitely, as you said, you know, Zac and Jay Show. The whole process wasn't very smooth. You know, you had a lot of ups and downs in life, had a lot of hurdles to face. So talk to us through how you tackled every one of the problems in your life.
Wow, that's a big question. Yeah, in terms of problems, how we get through the problems. I think early on we were just so hell bent on making it work that in the early days, like you kind of just have to just keep cracking, and that is like a good kind of motive, really, just to like, you know, be so unwilling to like let go of this idea that like this dream that you've had, basically. But I mean, that's kind of just like, that's what's got to fuel it, because they say that with business, like if you knew how much work it was going to be at the start, and you still decide to do it, that shows that you're probably like, yeah, you're cut out for this shit. But like it's a lot of work, and there was a lot of unknowns, and there was a lot of risk, and there was like, we were spending pretty much all our life savings to make it work. So I don't know, I think it was just that ultimatum, like I don't want to live a life where that I'm going to regret, basically, that I'm going to be an old man looking back thinking, oh, I took the kind of done route there. Like I kind of noticed in university that the system, as it were, is fundamentally flawed, and the education system doesn't set you up for you know, entrepreneurial endeavors, or like just the kind of modern world, like where, like we were saying earlier, we're more connected than ever before. Like we've got so much technology that like we didn't have going back like even 20-30 years ago, you know. Like there's more power in our phones, which I'm literally talking to you in real time while you're in Bangladesh, which is blowing my mind, like literally mental. Like more power in this device right here than like launch the first man to space. So like I think that is just like fundamentally like a belief, like just that we're living in a great time, so you may as well have a go. And there's a great quote by I get muddled up whether it's Jim Carrey or Will Smith. Either way, two great actors. But like it was something like, you can fail doing something you don't enjoy. Like if I were to, you know, try and get a corporate job because I thought it was safer and I wanted that security, like when I was like 21 and I had pretty much nothing else, if everything went bad, I would like have a backup of living at my parents' house, which is like, again, is a bit of a privilege, to be honest. But that was like the worst case scenario, you know. That was the worst thing that could possibly happen. So yeah, I think it was just that kind of pulled me through, really. Like I do not want to do anything else. I can't imagine myself ever doing anything else. Like and when I say anything else, I mean like working for someone else. I think that would really just like make me go crazy. And if I feel like I'm not aligned with something, I would just not engage with it. And that's a bad place to be, you know. Like I think a lot of the problems in, you know, midlife crisis and people kind of having mental nervous breakdowns and all this stuff, like really can be accounted to just doing monotonous jobs that you hate, and just like being in this system and like, you know, making enough money just so that you're not going to complain, but like just enough so you're never going to be able to like get your head up and realize you spent 4 years working in a job that you hate to pay off a car and a house and get a mortgage so you can like provide for your kids that you don't have yet. Like it's just a dangerous way of thinking. So yeah, if we could do that early on, where we had no risks and nothing else to really lose, then that was when it was going to happen for us. So that's a long-winded way of just of explaining that. But I think like it came from a very deep belief that like I couldn't do anything else, basically. So that's what got us through. And by the way, I will just preface that as well with saying like, prefacing is at the start. So I will say something else on that. It could have not worked, you know, like it could have absolutely not worked, and we might not have been having this conversation. And like I say it's like worked, but like I still think there's a long way to go with it all, and we're not really scratching the surface yet. So yeah, like there is elements of luck in all of this. Like you need to put yourself in a position to be lucky, and that's kind of the hard work and the motivation and kind of like the unwavering desire to make it work, where I was staying up at like stupid 5 a.m. editing to get a video done, just like that sort of behavior, which is not justifiable by logic. Like that's what's going to make you lucky and kind of give you the best chances of making shit work for you.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Zac, you're actually live on
That's
Instagram
amazing.
now. So one of our friends, his name is Zaka. So can he's asked if you know him or not. So can you give him a savage reply back?
Zaka.
Yeah,
Wait, do you want me to go on Instagram right now, or are you getting me live?
he's on the live, so he can literally listen to
He's
you.
not in it.
Listen to what you're saying.
Zaka is a way cooler name than Zac. I wish Zaka was a British name.
Okay, and we have one of our other friends, Hafiz, who's been a huge supporter of this podcast, along with Zaka, who supported it. Can you give Hafiz a shout out and say to stop making terrorist jokes on me?
Huffy or Haffy?
Hafiz.
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 And Zaka,
Yeah,
Hafiz.
tell them to not make any more terrorist jokes and 9/11 jokes.
Hafiz, you need to stop making 9/11 jokes, mate. It's not the time. It's still too early. And if any Americans catch you saying that, you will be cancelled, my friend. So it's a risky business. And
All right.
shout out to Zaka. You have the closest name to mine. I like it a lot. That's a terrible shout out. I'm sorry, Zaka.
Okay.
Zaka's loving it.
Zach. You were excellent there, and I need to connect my headphones. That was a bit of a thing that we did in order to get more familiar with to get our because not the fans. I mean, calling them fans would be an overstatement. The followers do want to know what you're up to because this is the first time anybody in Bangladesh has done this, so it's a big thing for us. Yeah.
I like it.
Zach, that was a fantastic answer, mate. We are really motivated.
Yeah.
That was really eye-opening, and what you said, it's true, honestly. And unfortunately, the society, it takes time for people to realize that this is what should happen. But guys made it through.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Like I was so into Zac's, speech that I didn't even realize that Fahim was doing an Instagram live just now.
I was listening and doing
that was amazing.
And the people were going crazy. They were like, "Come on, let us hear what she's saying.
Yeah.
Let's hear what she's saying." And they would start swearing upon me. I was like, "Okay, come on, wait. Patience, wait. Let him finish. He's talking about something important." Okay, yeah. Once again, I know, wherever you go, whatever you do, both you and Jamie are doing awesome things. We support what you're doing. We support, even though people, even when our parents here, we're supporting people breaking into things. It might get a little concerning, but they also, of course, understand because last week, Nico and Milana did this recent video where he opened not McDonald's. The gem of a video, not McDonald's.
Yeah.
Fake McDonald's.
Yeah, my mother watched it. I was afraid. I was like, my mother's gonna say what are you watching? What are they teaching? My mother laughed the whole video. Like, okay, and yeah,
Oh, really?
I also
That's good.
yeah, and I watched Zac and Jay's BAFTA video. The guys where you were about to. That was with Nico and Milan as well, right? And then you did that. Yeah, the Zoom lives. Those two are like my favorite videos because you guys made such great use of your time at home. And got Judi Dench. I mean, come on, man. That's the next level crap. And so it's the end of the podcast. And once again, huge thank you for being here. It means a lot to us. And whoever's watching, you guys should definitely check out Zac and Jay. If you don't check out, I mean, you don't even have to subscribe to us. Subscribe to them. They deserve it, right?
You're too kind. You're too kind.
Zac and Jay Show all the way.
We have this format. Yeah,
this was an absolute pleasure. This was the best podcast I've ever been a part of. You've got the seal of approval. You can type this as a review. This is straight out the horse's mouth. This was the single best experience I've had on a podcast in my entire life.
We had a great time as well. Thank you so much for coming once again.
Yeah, hard to do the more boring part of telling people to subscribe.
You know what? I don't think I have that energy. I think, why not let us Zac do that part for us?
Yeah, we
Guys,
can do it, Zac.
It would be an honor. You've been listening to the Dinner Convo, Dinner episode 26,000 with Zac Alsop. Make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss any more of these because these boys are going to be, who knows they're going to get on the podcast next. They're going to get some crazy, I don't know how they do it, but they're going to get someone crazy. Nico and Milano by the end of the year. Subscribe. You don't want to miss this.
Yes. Thank you, Zac. Yeah.
Dinner Convo.